Hey guys, it's Nicola. Today we're going to be talking about the current pandemic worldwide and how we as light workers should be handling the situation, we should be focusing on, and how to handle the energies that are associated with the situation. The first thing that I was talking about was basically how to handle the situation. I know when the virus first became a pandemic, there was a lot of acting out of the 3D, a lot of acting out of insecurity, out of greed, out of anxiety and fear. As a light worker, we have to be able to detach from those 3D emotions and be in a 5D type of existence, or a 5D vibration, meaning acting out of peace, compassion, and unconditional love. Now, we as 5D entities are already of unconditional love, but we do need to be in a space of being in our highest vibration, even in the most troubling times, and acting out of peace and compassion to ourselves as well as others. When it comes to, the fears of not having enough, that's a 3D issue. You're always going to have enough, especially as a spiritual entity here on earth. You're always going to have enough. You're never going to be lacking. You're never going to be without. Even if you feel like you're going to be lacking or without, you need to understand it's like, okay, as you guys know, I'm a spiritual entity on earth, like a spiritual or a physical manifestation of spirit. We all are, but some of us to a higher degree of others. I remember before this pandemic, like, this pandemic doesn't bother me as much as it probably bothers a lot of other people, because I'm at peace with it. Whatever happens, I know it's a part of the grand scheme. I remember back in my life going through times where I was like, man, I'm struggling, like I'm not gonna make it. And I always made it. I never went without. I never went lacking. Even when I felt like I was at my worst, I still had everything that I needed. My children still had everything that they needed. But I always, back in the day when I was not as focused and as at peace with my life, I always felt like I was in need in some way, shape, or form. That is a 3D energy. That is a 3D vibration. And if you always feel like you're in need, you're always going to be in need. So you do need to change your perspective in regards to that. Understand that as a spiritual entity on earth, you're going to have every single thing you need, even when you don't expect that you are. You should release all expectations, period, because you are not in the energy or the mindset as a spiritual entity here to expect anything. You just allow whatever is happening to happen. You allow whatever is unraveling within this existence to unravel, and you're at peace with your path. Because for a lot of people, even though we're humans, spiritual entities in a human form, a lot of us tend to lean into those 3D type of fears because it's comfortable. It's like it's what I've known all my life. No, we're spiritual entities. We're moving into a new existence. Let go, let God. You feel me? Another thing that I want to talk about was when it comes to the media. A lot of this is being egged on by the media. I'm not saying that the coronavirus is not real. I'm not saying that at all. I feel like it is a real pandemic. I feel like it is a real, virus, but I also feel like a lot of the energy surrounding the virus has been pushed through the media to infiltrate the minds of the masses, to bring us back into this 3D existence. Now, I don't care how people feel about what I said, but I said what the fuck I said. We as spiritual entities have to be able to detach from that. I'm not telling you not to protect yourself. I'm not telling you not to social distance yourself. I'm not telling you not to isolate yourself, quarantine yourself. You do need to protect yourself. You do need to make sure that you are protecting your physical body as well as your energetic body at all times. But I do know that when there's mass hysteria or there is something that is pushed through the media, it is put in place in order to bring us down in vibration. Just like there are light workers in the world, there are dark workers in the world. So we need to be in a space of understanding how these energies work. If the world is at a low vibration, it brings down the vibration of the planet. We are light workers. We're here to raise the vibration of the planet. So we have to be the one to lead the way and not constantly share the negative information, not constantly share the information that creates anxiety and stress toward the masses. We need to constantly. If you're going to be putting stuff out on social media, make sure that you're putting stuff out in high vibration. Even if you don't know what to put out stuff that makes people laugh, put out stuff that makes people feel better, put out stuff that's in high vibration. Don't allow yourself to be caught up in the constant sharing of negative or false information. Okay. As far as the energies within this virus, you need to understand, as a spiritual being, when the world is going through a crisis, you will feel it. It will affect you. It will have you in depression or feeling like you're going through things within your life that you're not actually going through. So you have to be able to detach from those energies. Understand, if you got to wake up every morning and say, these energies are not my energy, understand that you're picking up on the world's energies. You're picking up on the mass collective, because we're all connected. So detached from the energies, detach from the media. As an empath, as a light worker, and I'm saying empath because most light workers are empaths, but as a light worker, you have to understand that you're here to observe. You're here to observe your surroundings. You're here to see your surroundings, understand them, and accept them. But you're not here to take on the energy of your surroundings. As I've stated on this channel now, in the past, when I first began, you cannot control anything that is not connected to you. Your path is something that is connected to you. From the time you came from your mother's womb, dropped down onto this earth, your path was connected to your destiny. That's a part of you. But you cannot control what the world does. You cannot control how the world reacts. The only thing that you can control is how you react to it. And your perspective about what is happening becomes your reality. So take that into accountability. If you're scrolling through social media and you see something that triggers you, get off social media. Go meditate, go work out, go watch TV, go fix a fucking sandwich. Go take a sip of wine. Don't allow yourself to get lost in 3D, 3D codependency stuff. Don't allow that to happen, because I've been seeing a lot of messages on social media like, oh, I'm going to come out of here an alcoholic. That's the last thing you want to do. Okay. It's okay to take your sip. It's okay to smoke your blunt if that's what you do, but it's not okay to allow yourself to get lost in those 3D type of codependencies to drown out what is happening within your reality, because then that becomes your reality. So as spiritual entities here, we need to understand that what we perceive from this pandemic is what we create within our life. We need to live from peace, love, and compassion. Be at peace with what's happening. Yes, the world is having a pandemic. You are not, okay? And even if it is close to your home, even if you are affected, you are not having a pandemic. You are having a tower moment within your life. You're having a significant event in your life that will lead to change one way or another. But you are not in a pandemic. You are not in a low vibration. You are not in a plague. Okay? Another thing that I want to talk about was isolating yourself. As a spiritual entity on earth, isolation right now is key in regards to reevaluating where you are, to overcoming the 3D issues that you have to overcome in order for us as a collective to move to a 5D ascension. Now, when I talk about moving to this 5D ascension, I don't know if you're aware, but the whole world is not moving to a 5D ascension. No. I always say there's almost 8 billion people in the world. Of those 8 billion people, there's only about 200,000 people that will be ascending to this higher dimension. And that is because those people are going to lead the way for the next wave of people, and so forth and so on. Okay. This happens in waves. So this is not the first pandemic we're having, or this is not the last pandemic we're going to have. The time frame of this, now I'm gonna be real with you, I've asked, I don't know if I said this in a video earlier, but I've asked my guides, should I do a video on the coronavirus? Should I do a video on the time frame? I've been told no, because that should not be our focus. Even though it's what's happening in the world, a part of the lesson within this is for us to detach from the worldly issues, detach from the low vibration energy that is of now, and really be in a higher vibration and focused on the path that we need to focus on as light workers. So this wave of light workers that is coming up out of this in the 5D, this is our way, or this is our path right now to overcome these fears, anxieties, and really focus on really pushing and promoting love, compassion, peace, and unity within the world. This is part of the ascension to the Rainbow Bridge. So the next thing we're going to talk about is raising your vibration. I know it's hard as hell right now to keep a high vibration, especially when all you got to do is turn on the TV and you hear coronavirus, you know what I'm saying? You hear that all the time, like every fucking where. Everybody in the world is talking about it because it is something that everyone is fearing. Keyword, fearing. As a spiritual entity, you don't do anything out of fear. You do nothing out of fear because that fear is an energy that you can control, or it can control you. But if you've overcome your 3D issues, fear has no space in your life, in your world. So you do need to be acting out of peace. Okay. The world, again, is going through this pandemic. I, as a spiritual entity on this earth, is not. I am not going through this pandemic. I am taking precautions to protect myself and my family. I am preparing for an ascension. I am working on my spiritual path, and I am working on overcoming whatever issues I need to overcome as of now. Now, a lot of us do have to have some 3D issues that we have to face, especially in the wake of whatever this has brought, like the after effects of this, having to be quarantined. Some of us have fear being alone. That is something that you have to overcome. Some of us have not faced issues within our relationships, our family situations, or within our job that have been a problem for us. Those are also things that we have to overcome. Some of us have not been focusing on the spiritual aspects of ourselves. This is the time for you to get shit in order because you're about to be pushed into this new ascension, whether you want to or not. So right now is the time. This is why this is happening. You're giving the time to work on yourself. You're given the time to work on ascending past those 3D issues so that you can move forward into this new type. I've been saying this for the longest. You're going through an ascension. You're going through an ascension. You have been going through an ascension for about the past 10 years. Now you're about to ascend. You need to be prepared. You need to detach from the worldly issues and focus on your path. You cannot control nothing. You cannot control anything that is not a part of you. And this bullshit that's going on in the world is not a part of my light workers that are ascending into this new wave. The last thing I'm going to talk about is removing the ego-based thoughts. This virus has brought about a lot of fears and anxieties worldwide. Don't allow yourself to get swept up in fear or allow yourself to get swept up in the anxiety of what if. What if is always a possibility. Who gives a fuck what if? What we're focusing on now is what now. What do I need to work on now? Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You need to focus on what I need to do now. But this is about focusing on your path right now. This is about focusing on you overcoming these 3D issues, overcoming being stuck or caught up in the mass collective, and really focusing on your own path moving forward. Take this time to reevaluate what it is that you actually want. For those of you that are, out of a job right now, I'm sorry, but this is the perfect time for you to focus on your path because you're never going to be lacking as long as you're focused on what you need to be focused on. When you start getting caught up in the fears of not having, you're not going to have. What you feel or what you think at this time and at any other time in your life is what you bring into your reality. So if you want peace, love, and compassion, you need to change your perspective and move into that. This is all I have. Until next time, y'all.